Hey, YouTube. I'm, I'm making a video right now, first one in about 2 years. Just talking about the new Strokes EP that just came out. It's called Future, Present, Past. I'm a massive fan of the Strokes myself. You know, I love them a lot, and I was very, very excited for this EP to come out. You know, I've been hearing about news like, oh hey, Albert Hammond Jr. is talking about this, or Julian Casablancas says that, and then I hear last night that they're like projecting onto some wall or something, some little advertisement, and then today they drop an EP of 3 songs, 4 if you count the little remix of one of the songs, which was actually pretty good. Yeah, it came out. It's called Future, Present, Past EP. And I listened to it. It's just the first impression, really. I've heard it once. I mean, I've heard it twice so far. I had to go back and listen. First time I heard it, I don't know, it didn't do anything. Especially, it starts out with what I think is, without a doubt, the weakest song. And just in general, out of their whole catalog, probably one of the weaker Strokes songs out there, which is Drag Queen. Really, it sounds to me more, instead of like the Strokes, it sounds maybe like Julian Casablancas and the Voids, like a demo or something like that. It sounds unfinished. It sounds very experimental, but not necessarily in a good way. It took me a little while to get into the Voids in that album, but I was rocking out to it the other day. I love Human Sadness and some other tracks on there, and sometimes it's just songs. Maybe one day I'll go back and I'll listen to Drag Queen and I'll love it. Right now, first impression doesn't quite blow me away. The next song is called Oblivious. I think this is like my favorite out of the bunch on here. Because with this song, you get, what do you get? With this song, it sounds like, it sounds like the Strokes, of course, but it also sounds something new, something different than the last 2 albums. Sound sort of similar, right? Angles and Come Down Machine. I felt like Come Down Machine was a pretty big step up, but it sounded pretty similar. But this one, it really, it's the Strokes clearly, but they're going in a slightly different direction that I really like. And I really like that. I think that's, if it's future, present, past, I guess that's the present of them? I don't know. I really like it. And from what I've been seeing online, a lot of people agree with me. That's the best song. And the more I listen to it, the more and more I get into it. And there's that song, that's the second track, then also the 4th track, there's a remix of that. I haven't listened to the 2 of them enough to compare, but I'm really digging that. And then finally there's the song Threat of Joy, which the first listen through, I was like, I like this the most. I listened to it a second time, and I still like it, but I like Oblivious a bit more. Threat of Joy, right off the bat, if you know the Strokes, then you can see, they picked up little bits and pieces, like they get this part from this song, this part from that part from that. It sounds very much like the first 2 albums, not just in the way that it sounds, but there's actually direct parts that sound very, very, very similar. Like the beginning sounds like, I think it sounds like Trying Your Luck. Yeah, it sounds like that a lot to me, I think. And I really like it, and I think that's the past part. So, because everyone sort of says, oh, make another like Is This It, or Room on Fire, or that sort of thing. And I think that's their sort of way of showing, yeah, we can still do those kinds of songs, but they also show that they can produce new songs as well. Overall, I'm pretty excited about this. I'm pretty pumped, I think it sounds good. The first song, when I heard the first song, I thought this was the end of the Strokes. I thought, like, they're going down the toilet, and unfortunately Julian Casablancas, his vocals, he doesn't sound quite as into it. He sounds pretty like, like he's here, but it's not as much of like a passionate thing anymore as it was maybe with the first, actually with any of the other albums. I love his vocals on everything he's released, really, up until the point of this Drag Queen. It's not for me. Maybe it'll grow in time, but I really love Oblivious. That's a great one. And Threat of Joy, like I said, it's just more of the classic Strokes. Honestly, it doesn't offer too much new, so if I do want to hear old Strokes, I'm mostly going to go back to that first album. But just listening to, what they got new, it's very exciting. It's a bit old, it's a bit fresh, but I'm super excited to see, what else they have. I was so pumped when I heard about this. But yeah, that's really all. It's just my quick little video, first in a couple of years. Comment below what you think, and if you want to see more videos from me talking about this sort of shit. I don't know. But yeah, anyways, that is the Strokes with the new EP. That's it's called. Alright, bye.